Hi everyone, welcome to our channel Coroutine Lab, and wish you all a very happy new year. Software engineering is more than just coding. It's about teamwork, problem solving, and understanding how work gets done in an organization. In our latest video, we will try to explain all these things. Whether you're starting out from university or looking to grow in your career, this video series has something for everyone. So let's get started. We will be building an Android application and we have named it CashWise, inspired by various open source design on Figma. Throughout the series, you will learn various things such as building scalable app to handle growth seamlessly, whether it's users features or functionality. Build UI components once and reuse them across your app for consistency and faster development. We will add a data visualization layer to app with beautiful graphs and charts. We will use Firebase authentication and analytics to gain insights into user behavior. We will also learn about RoomDB and data stores to efficiently manage apps data. Application code base will be structured in multi-module architecture, and throughout the video series we will try to follow the clean coding practices. But that's not all. We will also focus on flexibility and rapid iteration using Agile methodology to deliver incremental improvements. We will understand how to manage code changes by following a structured branching strategy. Also, we will see how to automate the build and deployment process using GitHub workflows, ensuring faster delivery with fewer errors. And finally, what are feature flags and why you should use them without disrupting the release process and main application. At the core, these principles drive better collaboration, faster iterations, and more robust delivery pipelines. Mastering these areas will enhance both team productivity and project outcomes. Incorporate choosing a methodology, streamline work, and create a clear structure which provides guidelines for how teams collaborate, prioritize tasks, and deliver results. It ensures everyone is on the same page, minimizes chaos, and helps the organization operate more efficiently. The key is finding what works best for your team's needs and sticking to it. Waterfall is a linear and sequential approach to project management. It is characterized by distinct phases that must be completed one after the other. Typical phases are requirement gathering, where all the project requirements are catered at once, after which you work on the design requirement. Once designs are finalized, you develop the code for the product, which in later stages are sent to QA for verification. And last is the delivery or maintenance phase. While practical, this approach had some major challenges. This approach is inflexible to any change in requirement, making it difficult to accommodate any new changes. Testing, on the other hand, is after the implementation, which could delay the discovery of significant bugs. On the other hand, Agile is an iterative and incremental approach that overcomes the inflexibility and feedback loops. Agile can be achieved by various methodologies like Scrum and Kanban, which focus on delivering small functional pieces of the project in shorter interval. These deliverables are then tested by the testing team. Any bugs found during this phase are fixed instantly based on the priority or severity. In an Agile team structure, while the core roles remain consistent, the team setup can vary based on factors such as feature teams, component teams, or cross-functional teams. The key roles in any Agile team include stakeholders, the primary decision-makers who provide direction and feedback. Product owner, responsible for defining the product vision, managing the backlog, and prioritizing features based on stakeholder input to maximize value. Scrum master, a facilitator who ensures the team adheres to Agile practices, removes impediments, and helps the team work efficiently. Development team, a cross-functional group that includes developers, testers, designers, and back-end engineers, all collaborating to deliver high-quality products. This structure ensures that Agile teams remain flexible and adaptive while maintaining a clear focus on delivering value. When following Agile practices, teams foster collaboration and communication by participating in various meetings. These meetings are carefully planned to ensure smooth progress and alignment throughout the sprint cycle. There are primarily 5 types of meetings that take place during a sprint. Before the sprint begins, The team selects items from the product backlog, prioritized by the product owner, and estimates the effort required. Factors like team availability, past performance, and capacity help decide how much work can be included in the sprint. Once the sprint begins, a daily stand-up is held, typically lasting 15 minutes. During this meeting, each cross-functional team member answers 3 key questions. 1. What did I accomplish yesterday? 2. What will I work on today? 3. Are there any blockers? This ensures everyone stays aligned and any issues are addressed promptly. Next is the sprint review meeting, held at the end of the sprint. Team members showcase the completed work to stakeholders, providing an opportunity for feedback. This ensures the product stays aligned with stakeholder expectations and requirements. After that, we have the sprint retrospective, where the team discusses what went well and what could have been improved during the sprint. This process helps identify flaws and area for improvement, ensuring better performance in future sprints. Lastly, we have the backlog refinement, a session where the team and the product owner review and refine the product backlog. During this meeting, they clarify new requirements, break down larger tasks, and ensure backlog items are well-defined and ready for future sprints. Based on priority and stakeholder needs, the backlog is reordered to reflect the most important tasks. Next, let's explore the different branching strategies commonly used in organizations. In software development, selecting the right branching strategy is essential for maintaining a smooth and efficient workflow. The 2 most popular strategies are trunk-based development and Gitflow. Each approach has its own advantages, and the choice between them depends on the team structure and project requirements. Trunk-based development encourages developers to commit small, incremental changes multiple times a day. This approach helps reduce merge conflicts and ensures faster feedback loops. With fewer branches to manage, the workflow becomes more streamlined, making collaboration within the team much easier. An essential aspect of trunk-based development is the use of feature flags, which allow incomplete or experimental features to be safely integrated without impacting production. On the other hand, the Git workflow relies on multiple branches for features, bug fixes, and releases. This allows developers to work in isolation, minimizing the risk of bugs being introduced into the main code base. By using dedicated release branches, the team can better control the deployment process, ensuring stability and smoother rollouts. Let's take a closer look at both workflows, starting with trunk-based development. In this approach, the main or master branch serves as the central integration branch. It is always deployable and protected by rules to maintain stability. Developers either work in short-lived branches or commit directly to the main branch, depending on team practices. Developers commit frequently, typically several times a day, and ensure their changes are integrated back into the main branch within 1 to 2 days. This minimizes branch divergence and reduces the risk of complex merges. A key enabler of this approach is the use of feature flags, which allow teams to deploy code without exposing unfinished or risky features to end users. Before merging, changes undergo automated tests, unit and integration, and code reviews to ensure branch stability. Once the changes pass all checks and are approved, they are merged into the main branch. For planned releases, such as at the end of a sprint, a temporary release branch may be created for UAT, user acceptance testing. In many trunk-based workflows, however, both UAT and bug fixes are handled directly on the main branch. Once the release is finalized and tested, the app is deployed to production, and a version tag, example, version 1.0, is assigned to the release commit. If a bug is found in production, it is fixed on the main branch. The fix may also be cherry-picked to a release branch if one exists, resulting in a patched release, example, version 1.1. This workflow promotes frequent integration, rapid delivery, and streamlined collaboration, making it ideal for teams practicing continuous delivery. In contrast, let's explore the Gitflow branching strategy. The Gitflow workflow involves multiple branches, each with a specific purpose. Main branch reflects the production-ready state of the project. Develop branch acts as the integration branch for ongoing feature development. All feature branches are created from and merged back into the develop branch. When a release is planned, a release branch, example, release version 1.0, is created from develop. On the release branch, only bug fixes, minor improvements, or documentation updates are made. After user acceptance testing is complete, the release branch is merged into both main and develop, ensuring all updates are integrated. A release tag, example, version 1.0, is added to the main branch to mark the production release. If a bug is found in production, a hotfix branch, example, hotfix version 1.1, is created from the main branch. The bug is fixed, and the hotfix branch is merged into both main and develop to keep all branches up to date. A new tag, example, version 1.1, is added to the main branch to represent the patch release. This strategy ensures a structured approach to development, supporting clear workflows for features, releases, and hotfixes. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with friends who are just starting their journey in software development or are currently studying at university. Your support helps us create more valuable content for learners like you. Now, let's take a look at JIRA and how this tool can be used in software development. While setting up a JIRA board is typically not your responsibility, it's important to understand how it works for your knowledge. You can log in or sign up at atlassian.com using your Google, Microsoft, or Workplace email account. I'll quickly set up the account using our Workplace email and continue from there. Once you've signed in successfully, you can set up your site by giving it a unique name to identify your workspace. Next, select a template. You can choose any template as it can be changed later. For our use case, we'll select Scrum and click Continue. The workspace will now be set up, which might take a few seconds to complete. Let's set up our first project in JIRA, and we'll call it CashWise. Start by clicking on Create Project from the JIRA dashboard. JIRA provides a variety of templates tailored for different use cases, which are categorized for easy selection. For this project, we'll select the software development category and choose the Scrum template. Next, you'll need to choose the project type. In this case, we'll go with the team-managed option, as it offers a simpler and more focused setup for smaller teams. Once you've made your selection, click Continue to proceed. Now, let's provide the project details. Start by entering the project name, which in our case will be CashWise. Then, set the project key, a unique identifier used for issue IDs. For this project, let's use CW as the key. This means all issues created within the project will have IDs like CW1, CW2, and so on. You'll also need to select the access level for your project. Options include Open, where anyone in your JIRA instance can access and create issues, or Limited, where only specific team members have access. Choose the level that works best for your team. After entering these details, continue with the default settings unless specific customizations are required. Once everything is completed, click Create, and JIRA will take you to your new project's dashboard. This dashboard is your central hub for managing the project, including backlogs, sprints, and reports. Now, let's explore how to add apps to enhance your JIRA experience. First, head over to the Apps section in the menu. From here, click on Find New Apps. This will take you to the Atlassian Marketplace, where you can browse a wide variety of integrations. In the search bar, type GitHub for JIRA and select the official app. Click on Get App to start the installation process. During the setup, you'll be prompted to authorize JIRA to access your GitHub repositories. Simply log into your GitHub account, grant the required permissions, and let JIRA establish the connection. Once the connection is successful, you'll see a progress screen as JIRA begins syncing your repositories. In just a few moments, all the connected repositories will appear on this configuration page. And it's not just GitHub. JIRA supports many other integrations that can supercharge your productivity. For example, Slack to stay updated with real-time notifications in your team channels. X-ray test management for tracking and managing test cases. Power BI, gain advanced insights with rich visualizations for your project data. Once everything is set up, you can exit the configuration. Your GitHub integration is now ready to use. You'll find all your repository details linked within JIRA, making project management and tracking a breeze. In JIRA, you'll notice the default board setup includes 3 lanes: To Do, In Progress, and Done. However, you can fully customize these lanes to better suit your team's workflow. For example, let's walk through a typical software development workflow and create lanes accordingly. In most companies, the To-Do lane contains all the user stories or tasks brought into the current sprint. These are the items the team plans to work on during the sprint. Once a team member starts working on a ticket, they move it to the In Progress lane, indicating the work is actively underway. After development is complete, the developer typically raises a pull request, PR, for their code, which is then reviewed by peer developers. At this stage, the ticket is moved to the review lane. Once the pull request is approved and the code is merged into the main branch, the developer moves the ticket to the in-test lane, signaling that it's ready for QA. The tester then picks up the story, executes the QA tasks, and ensures the acceptance criteria are met. Once testing is complete, the QA assigns the ticket to the product owner, PO, and moves it to the PO review lane. The PO reviews the evidence attached by QA, validates the work, and approves the ticket. Finally, the PO moves the ticket to the Done lane and optionally assigns a label for the targeted release. Now, let's quickly create these custom lanes and arrange them in the order of the expected progress: To Do, In Progress, Review, In Test, PO Review, and Done. Now, let's explore the different types of issues in JIRA. First, there's the epic, which acts as the parent issue. It represents a large piece of work that's broken down into smaller, manageable tasks or user stories. It's perfect for capturing high-level requirements or initiatives that span multiple sprints or releases. Next, we have user stories, which are more specific tasks derived from an epic. These represent functionality or work from the end user's perspective. A common way to write a user story is, as a customer, I want some functionality, so that, some reason. The goal of a user story is to deliver value and, ideally, to be completed within a single sprint. If a story is too big, it can always be split into smaller parts. Now, let's talk about bugs. A bug indicates something that isn't working as expected. Whether it's a coding error, a design flaw, or an unexpected system behavior. Bugs need to be addressed promptly to maintain the quality and reliability of the software. Finally, there's the subtask, which is a smaller, more focused piece of work tied to a larger issue, like a user story or bug. Subtasks are great for breaking down complex work into manageable steps, making it easier for team members to collaborate and track progress. They are always linked to a parent issue, so they don't exist on their own. In the next video, we'll focus on creating the onboarding flow, where we'll design and develop the welcome screen, onboarding screen, and login screen. These screens are crucial for providing users with a smooth introduction and setting the tone for an engaging experience. After completing the onboarding flow, we'll move on to building key app features. We'll start with the home screen, the central hub where users interact with the app's core functionality. Then, we'll create the Add Record screen for seamless data input, followed by the Analysis screen, which will showcase insightful metrics in a user-friendly way. This session will be full of practical development tips and hands-on guidance, making it perfect for anyone looking to strengthen their app-building skills. Don't miss it. Stay tuned and follow along. Let's start by creating our first issue by clicking on the Create button. In the next window, we'll select the issue type as Epic and then add a summary and description. For our first epic, we'll name it onboarding and define a clear goal for this epic. For now, we'll leave the other fields as default and click Create to save the epic. Similarly, we can follow this process to create additional epics for the other features. You can navigate to the Filter section, select All Issues, and set the filter type to Epic to view all the epics for your project. Along with the onboarding epic, we've also created another epic called BAU, Business as Usual. This epic is designed to manage stories or tasks that focus on internal management or improvements, rather than features directly visible to the user. The other epics we've created include Home Screen, Add Records, Search and Filter Records, Analyze Records, and App Settings. We'll focus on these epics as we progress through the project, tackling each feature step by step to ensure a well-structured development process. Now let's create a few user stories and see how we can link them to an epic. To get started, click on the Create button at the top of the JIRA dashboard. This time, for the issue type, select User Story. Let's create a story to set up Spotless in the project. Enter the relevant details, such as the summary and description, and then click on the Create button. Once the story is created, we can repeat this process to create the rest of the user stories quickly. As we add these stories, they'll appear in the backlog, where they can be organized and refined. This backlog is typically reviewed and updated during the backlog refinement meeting, which we discussed earlier, ensuring that all the user stories are ready for prioritization and sprint planning. Finally, don't forget to link each user story to its epic. This helps group related tasks and provides a clear structure, making it easier to track progress and manage work effectively. Let's go ahead and create those user stories now. Once we've created our user stories, the next step is to estimate them. This estimation is usually done during the sprint planning meeting, where the team collaboratively assesses the effort required to complete each story. For estimation, many teams use the Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 5, and so on. These numbers represent the relative effort or complexity of the task. For example, if you assign a 1, it typically means the story is simple and can be completed in a few hours to a day. As the complexity or effort increases, you assign larger numbers like 3, 5, or higher. It's important to remember that these numbers are not precise measurements, but rather a way to estimate effort in relative terms. Different teams may adapt these values or define their own scale to suit their specific workflow. The goal is to agree on an estimate that reflects the complexity and time required for each story, enabling better planning and prioritization for the sprint. Now, let's quickly assign some story points to the user stories we've created. This helps us estimate the effort required for each task and prepare for sprint planning. Once that's done, we're ready to move all the stories into our first sprint. Simply select all the stories in the backlog, right-click, and choose Move to Sprint. This adds them to the current sprint, which is now ready to be started. Next, we'll click on the Start Sprint button. In the window that appears, you can assign a name to the sprint. We'll keep the default name for simplicity. However, we'll adjust the sprint duration to 1 week for this project, though in most companies, sprint durations are typically 2 weeks. Set the start date and define the sprint goal. For this sprint, our goal will be to complete the onboarding flow. Once the sprint starts, you'll see all the user stories appear on the board, which was previously empty. This is where the team will track the progress of each story throughout the sprint. Now, let's see how we can break down our user stories into smaller tasks. This is usually done by the developer working on the story, but it's entirely optional and depends on the team's workflow. To illustrate, let's add a test subtask to one of our user stories. Open the user story you want to break down and look for the Add Subtask option. Click on it and provide a concise title. You can also add additional details, like specific testing scenarios or requirements, in the description field. Once done, click Create to add the subtask. Subtasks help in organizing work and tracking progress at a more granular level. They are particularly useful for larger stories, as they allow team members to focus on specific aspects of the work while maintaining visibility of the overall progress. Now imagine you're working on a user story during a sprint and encounter a blocker that stops your progress. In this situation, you can flag the story, which changes its color to make it easily recognizable. This allows the product owner, PO, and Scrum Master to quickly identify the issue. The Scrum Master can then take the necessary steps to resolve the blocker, ensuring you can resume your work without delays. You can also view the history of a ticket by checking the Activity tab at the bottom. By selecting History, you can see a detailed log of all the activities and updates related to the ticket. The Timeline tab gives you a clear overview of progress on different epics in your project. It shows a visual timeline of when each epic starts and ends, helping the team track progress and spot any potential delays. This makes it easier to plan, stay on schedule, and see how all the epics fit together in the bigger picture. Right before the Timeline tab, you'll find the Summary tab, which gives you a clear overview of the entire project and the current sprint. It shows key details like how many issues are completed, in progress, or still to be started. You'll also find useful insights like team performance, burn-down charts, and other important stats. It's a great place to quickly check the project's overall progress and the sprint status. You can filter or group user stories based on various criteria such as epics, assignees, and more. This feature makes it easier to organize and focus on specific tasks or categories, helping you and your team stay aligned. For example, you can group all tasks assigned to a particular team member or view all user stories linked to a specific epic, streamlining your workflow and improving clarity. The Sprint Insights section provides a quick overview of how the sprint is progressing. It displays important metrics, such as completed tasks, work in progress, and tasks yet to be started. This gives you a snapshot of the team's progress and highlights areas that may need attention. We'll cover Sprint Burndown Chart and its role in tracking sprint performance in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. That's it for this video. We are just getting started. We'll dive into coding like it's a real sprint, giving you the full Agile experience and a glimpse of what it's like to work on professional projects. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Drop a comment to share your thoughts or ask questions, and check out our other videos for more valuable content.